Hi friends, if you're like me, you're dressed exactly like a French flag for some reason, or you're a photographer that wants to talk more about this cool new plugin that I've been using on my website that I'm going to tell you about today. So yeah, let's talk about it. If you own any of the developed presets, or I think probably any presets at this point, you've probably been to the website and played with the cool slider things and thought, wow, this is so neat. But did you know that you can also put those on your website? This is a thing that I have in my pricing catalogs. I'm going to talk a little bit about why today, but I am so jazzed at the fact that I have this interactive thing because I think that one thing that we sometimes overlook for our clients is all of the behind the scenes stuff that we sort of take for granted. Like, we know it's part of the process, but sometimes lifting the curtain and seeing what happens behind the scenes can add a little bit of inherent value to the stuff that we're creating. And that's part of what we are going to be talking about today. I have just raised my portrait pricing for really the first time in I think 7 years, maybe. Did just raise my client portrait pricing by $350. I did 65 plus sessions last year, and I walked away from that feeling like that's not a sustainable business model for me to have. And I do give pretty steep discounts for return clients because I love working with them. I've been shooting some families for like 5 years now, and I wouldn't have it any other way, and I begrudgingly raising my prices for them. But it got to the point where I was giving them discounts. I was spending like an hour driving to them, an hour driving back, sometimes getting there early so I wouldn't be late for their session. And I ended up spending sometimes like 4 hours, which is half a business day, on this one client session that I just wasn't ultimately getting paid enough for. So I've raised my prices, and I was trying to think of like what I could include that would make it so that I would be able to justify charging more, because in my mind, like, inflation and just me being a more experienced photographer for whatever reason wasn't enough. And I was like, oh, I could start including like albums or prints, and then I will be talking about this in a post later this month, but I haven't been sending out USBs most of this year. It got very daunting and overwhelming, and I can't imagine a situation where I want to create another step, another hurdle, another thing for me to do that takes up more time to add to the portrait sessions to create value. So I just decided that what I'm going to be doing is showing them why it's so valuable. Ideally, clients would come to me and be like, yep, this is worth it 100%, take my money. And that would be cool. But I also know that there is more that I'm giving people that I'm showing them. For example, I know that you guys know this already, but I deliver all of my sessions in both color and in black and white, which I think is really cool. You know that I do end of the year surveys with all of my clients, and I ask them, like, is this something that you like? Because it was for a long time a thing that I wanted to work out of my system, and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. But I realized I don't really have any big thing in my pricing catalog. Like, I think it's in frequently asked questions, but it wasn't like a huge announcement, because that's a big deal. They think they're getting like 100 images, and they're really getting 200 images. They're getting two different stylized versions of each of their images, which is super cool, I think. And so I wanted to make sure that I was including that. I also wanted to lift the curtain, so to speak, on my editing process and show them a little bit more about what that's like. And if there's just a couple visual elements that are sort of bothering me in family sessions, I will go through the process of removing them from the background. So I do think in addition to them seeing the processing that I'm doing, they also get to see the work that I put into getting the photos looking romantic and warm and nice and fuzzy and loving. So I use a WordPress site, and the plugin I'm going to be talking about today is by Themeific. There's another one called 2020, but they have all these examples on their site. It was super easy to install. It was crazy easy for me to put this together, and I'm going to show you how I do that today. I've already installed my plugin, and this is what it looks like when it's installed. I'm just going to go to the before and after slider, but I'm going to go to add new. I have this image as my before, and this is my after, so I'm going to grab the before, go to upload, add that, select the after image, upload that one, select that, and then all I have to do is hit publish. I have kept most of the default options. It's been working fine. Once I hit publish, I just grab this short code. Anywhere where you can add text, add the code. I'm gonna hit update. I will refresh this page. And this is our new slider. So we just made one together, super easy. I think this is really helpful. I am almost tempted to show them like my bad cropping and then recropping as the after, but I really want to emphasize the fact that the work that I'm putting in isn't in trying to make my bad pictures better, but that I'm working really hard to work with this raw material and make it into something really lovely, and that I'm willing to go through and take out elements in background. I also feel good about using some time to educate them on why I deliver in both black black and white and color, and I'm also trying to use colorful language to sort of bring them into the creative decision that I've made in my head for why I like doing it. Specifically, this is what I'm saying about it. I love the warmth my processing brings to photographs of families, but I also feel like there's something special about taking away the distraction of color and just focusing on you, light, shadows, and the emotion in the images. My favorite part about this is that once you finish looking through all of your images of you and your loved ones and all of your warm, colorful bliss, you have an entire new gallery to go through with a monochromatic filter. Some of my favorite images present themselves to me once I see them in black and white, which is very true. It was also an opportunity for me to just sneak in a couple extra images into the pricing guide. I feel like that never hurts for people to be able to see more different types of families for them to be able to project themselves into. I love this plugin. I love that I'm able to show people more of the perceived value in what I'm doing, because other than saying like, yep, I processed your images, I really wasn't doing a lot to show the work that goes into getting the images look the way that they do. And I also just think there's something kind of nice about having something interactive on the pricing guide. I feel like it feels interactive in a way that makes you feel a little bit invested in the editing process yourself. So I know this is one of my shorter videos, and I know that it was a short tutorial, but the honest thinking behind putting this plugin on my website was, oh my God, I'm raising my prices. I really want to show extra worth. What else can I add to this process? And then just me taking a step back and realizing that I have a bunch of clients that come to me every single year, and they're probably there for a reason. Hopefully they like me. Hopefully they appreciate the images that they're getting. But there's also more value in what I'm doing and the actual process, the behind the scenes that I'm doing in the things that I'm bringing to the session than what I was putting in just like a pricing guide. My pricing guide was mostly just, about pricing. So I really wanted to share this with you in hopes that it's something that you guys get excited about and can share with your clients too, because I think everybody loves a good before and after. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you check it out. I will go ahead and put links to the 2 WordPress plugins that I have found below. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi friends, if you're like me, you're dressed like a French flag. Why am I dressed like a French flag?